What does Keira Knightley, the Olsen twins, and Billy Idol have in common? Well, according to Dentyne, it's the pout, and this year they're declaring war against it. We have an exclusive behind-the-scenes pass to their massive new commercial campaign, and I'm here to find out whether to pout or not to pout is the way to go for 2010. So what was your involvement in the concept development?
Basically, if you look at all the powerful brands in the world, they're based on a strong consumer insight. So the insight on Dentyne is women use their smile to connect. So we sat and thought, okay, well, how do we dramatize this in a way that's both appealing, engaging, and also persuasive? If you think back to the first Dentyne commercial, that was about setting up almost the power of the smile, the role of the smile in a woman's life. And this is a sequel to that. So this ad now is about sort of elevating regard for a smile over a pout and saying the Dentyne philosophy or the Dentyne standpoint is that you're more beautiful when you smile.
So Jen, what is the concept of this campaign?
Well, our new campaign for Dentyne is basically an anti-pout campaign. We're trying to create a movement for women to stop pouting and to smile more, because women are so much more beautiful when they smile. So that's what we're trying to do here today, is showcase the pouting, which originated in the fashion industry, and that's why we've chosen to do a shoot today of behind the scenes of a typical model shoot.
Okay, so you are shooting a behind the scenes of a photo shoot, and we are shooting behind the scenes of your behind the scenes. Where's the real set?
That's a good question. When we were art directing the set for the shoot, we were like, geez, we're actually, there's two sets. We're art directing the set that the model will be shot on, then we're art directing the entire set around the set.
Now Jason, you've directed some pretty interesting commercials in the past. How would you describe your unique style of directing?
I'm kind of real kind of guy. You know, I like to capture the reality of life, I suppose, and projects that I like to work on is being able to capture a certain realness in everything I shoot. The shooting style for this is very real. It's basically just what we're trying to do is recreate a still shoot. Okay, and I think it's quite tough to do that because, you know, we've obviously got aesthetics that we want to try to keep right and give it an interesting look, more classical look. We're shooting on old, kind of old Bolex cameras, which gives it a nice grit, and it's black and white. Just makes it more classical, and you know, you don't want something that's too kind of sterile and kind of just boring.
Your opinion about beauty, how should a woman carry herself?
I know it's a bit of a cliche, but beauty is definitely about inner confidence. And I also think being beautiful is also a lot to do with being very well groomed and looking after yourself. I think there's quite a new movement towards being very health conscious. And I think that's why we chose Simone, the model, because not only she's a bit older than most models. She's got a great sense of self. She carries herself in such a confident way. Like, she's so comfortable in her own body, and I think she is a beautiful girl, but that's what makes her really outstandingly beautiful.
So Simone, how did the casting go for this job?
Oh, it was so embarrassing when you're doing all these poses and stuff, and you see it, they sent it to me afterwards. It was interesting, and they did it so long. There was callback and another callback, and every time I went to a casting, there was another casting for Dentyne. I think they cast a lot and all over the place.
And the rest of the people that was cast, I mean, who's cast and who's crew?
We cast a real photographer, okay, and then obviously we've used the real makeup artists, hair and makeup artists. So we've used all real characters. It's a really natural thing. It's difficult to cast someone and say, be a makeup artist or be a photographer. It's really not, you know, it's the technique, the way they do things. It either feels very natural or it looks very forced.
What was the fashion brief for today's shoot?
It started off being very theatrical, and then it became sort of more contemporary, and we just had to add elements that created texture and movement and so on.
Okay, now you've got some gorgeous garments here. Who are they from?
I was very pleased. Colleen Eitson lent me these beautiful dresses. She sent them from Durban, which was fantastic. And then we also sourced some really nice vintage items from the hiring places here. For example, the Galliano I have here. And then Malcolm Klook also very generously gave us some beautiful dresses. For example, this very big pink number, which is fantastic on.
Now it's quite a weird situation with you doing a still shoot, but with all the live cameras around you.
This is definitely a first. I've never done it's like one of those movies. This doing that, doing that, doing that inside a box. It's cool. It's another one to knock off on the experience list.
And how's the shoot going so far today?
It's awesome. It's so nice to be part of something that's so creative, especially with we have a lot of local talent today. Jason's really cool. The styling is amazing. We don't normally do stuff like this. I do a lot of German catalog, which is it's about 53 positions that I pull from my back catalog. But yeah, it's amazing to be part of something so cool.
After shooting a behind the scenes of pouting, and more pouting, I've got to say, no more pouting. Just bring back that smile.